Hello!
Good evening and welcome to the first ever BABS Live.
We are James and Chris, and we're going to be with you all the way through the evening, chatting to our special guests and introducing some of the best of British barbershop.
Before we get going, we wanted to say a quick word about the current situation.
The last 10 weeks have been really disorientating for everyone, with almost every part of our lives being changed. The lockdown has affected everybody in different ways, and we wanted to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to all of the key workers who are caring for us and making sure that we can stay safe at home.
Furthermore, we have been amazed at the enthusiasm and ingenuity that groups across the country have shown just to keep singing together. From Zoom rehearsals to virtual choirs, we feel really lucky to be part of a community that is rising to the challenge of making music and taking care of each other in such tough circumstances.
We've got so many acts tonight that the only way to go through the lineup properly was by having a bit of a sing-song.
There's Instant Classic, Sound Hypothesis for Front and Bagatelle, Apollo 2, Grand Central, Whitebirds at Meantime at 44, Bristol Acapella, Cotton Town, Great Western, Finest Star, Sound Nova, Beach Club, 4QM, Limelight and Vocal Fusion. One Foot in the Stave, a kind of magic fusion work in progress, and Hallmark of Harmony, Cheroville Blues Fortissimo, Ben Hawker's One Takes Amersham, Acapella and Bianco. That's our show, and thank you so much to you all for joining us.
Okay, let's take it up a notch.
Oh, no you don't. There's Instant Classic, Sound Hypothesis for Front and Bagatelle, Apollo 2, Grand Central, Whitebirds at Anytime at 44, Bristol Acapella, Cotton Town, Great Western, Finest Star, Sound Nova, Beach Club, 4QM, Limelight and Vocal Fusion. One Foot in the Stave, a kind of magic fusion work in progress, and Hallmark of Harmony, Cheroville Blues Fortissimo, Ben Hawker's One Takes Amersham, Acapella and Bianco. That's our show, and thank you so much to you all for joining us.
You heard that right. We have 28 different performers in the show, along with interviews with 2 international champion quartets, Forefront and Instant Classic, and our current BABS champions, A Kind of Magic, Hallmark of Harmony, and Sound Hypothesis.
We're going to take a look at some of the memories that you've been sending in, including an irreverent review of the joint BABS and Labs convention in 2000. We'll also be paying tribute to the great BABS stalwart John Grant, who sadly passed away earlier this year.
Towards the end of the show, we'll be sharing an exclusive announcement that even we don't know about yet.
I know, my script still just says surprise. Anyway, throughout the show, we're going to be checking in with our social media correspondent, the BABS Marketing and Communications Director, Shanna Wells. Shanna, how are you doing?
I'm great, thanks guys. How are you?
Yeah, we're really well, thank you. What have you got in store for us, Shanna?
So earlier today we asked our audience how they will be watching, and we have had some fabulous responses. Hannah Briggs is all dressed up and the Prosecco is already flowing. Yvonne and Peter Hughes have sent this fantastic picture and all are dressed up with buffet and drinks ready, front row seats in front of the TV and excited for the show. And a special happy birthday to Emily Dearden, who is supposed to be celebrating her 18th birthday in Harrogate. Have a great evening, Emily. Keep sending your comments in, #BabsLive.
Amazing. Happy birthday, Emily. Thanks, Shanna, and we'll speak to you again in a bit. Now, who's ready for some barbershop?
I'm never not.
Our first 2 performances are from our planned international guest acts for convention, Forefront and Instant Classic. While we're gutted that we're not seeing them in person tonight, we can reveal that they will both be coming to the BABS convention in 2022.
Are you excited? Because I'm excited. But that's enough of us. Let's watch them sing.
I love your loving arms. They always hold a world of charms. Put your arms around me, honey, hold me tight, huddle up and cuddle up with all your might. Oh, just idolize. When they look at me, my heart begins to float, and it starts a rocking like a motorboat. Oh, whoa, 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 I never knew any girl like no one like you. Don't you know, dear, it's with you, dear, that I long to be now. Put your arms around me, honey, hold me tight, huddle love with all your might. Oh, roll those eyes that I idolize. When they look at me, my heart begins to float, rocking like a boat. Oh, tonight, hold me tight. Oh, what a delight in your arms all night. Oh, and you roll those eyes, and hold me tight with all your might all night. I get along without you very well. Of course I do, except when soft rains fall and drip from leaves, then I recall the thrill of being sheltered in your arms. Of course I do. But I get along without you very well, so well. I've forgotten you just like I should. Of course I have, except to hear your name or someone's laugh that is the same. But I've forgotten you just like I should. What a guy, what a fool am I to think my breaking heart could kid the moon. What's in store? Should I fall once more? No, it's best that I stick to my tune. I get along without you very well. Of course I do, except perhaps in spring. But I should never think of spring, for that would surely break my heart. Break my heart into.
We are joined by the fantastic 2016 International Champion Quartet, Forefront. Great to have you with us, guys.
It's really great to be here with you.
We're really excited that you're going to be joining us for our 2022 convention. Have you guys been to the UK before?
Spent 6 hours in London. We had a layover in Heathrow, but we did get on a double-decker bus, and we did get to see the changing of the guard.
In 2015, you were one of the opening acts for the live tour of The Sing-Off, the TV show which catapulted Pentatonics and Home Free into fame. How did you find that experience?
I've worked a bunch with Deke Sharon on a number of different a cappella camps and schools and things. So he actually reached out to us to do that particular event. And it was here in Louisville where I live. And the audience response from a non-barbershop audience was really awesome and exciting. And we got some great kudos from the other a cappella groups that were on the show, which were no slouches themselves.
When we finished our opening set, we went and sat on the audience, and just watching the energy of each individual performance was just astounding, and I was like, I didn't really realize that you could do that.
So as we went into our coaching with our presentation performance coaches, we learned pretty quickly that having that freedom was really important.
In 2022, you're going to be joined at BABS by Instant Classic. What's it been like sharing your quartet journey with them over the last 10 years?
Pretty awesome. And fun.
Being in a quartet with my brother, it's like having a journey with four more. That's how it feels for me. It's pretty awesome.
I mean, we've been helping each other out so much, and we have a ton of stories. You know, they invited us to this huge dinner. It was like a $3,000 dinner we had with our families and everything. They bought us like fancy bourbon because they had a lot of money. They're popular.
Something that you guys have in common with Instant Classic is that two of your members are brothers. If we've done our maths right, around 17% of all BHS champion quartets have a pair of siblings. What do you think it is about family connections that makes them a special ingredient to so many successful barbershop quartets?
I think Aaron knows how to work with me. And vice versa maybe, but I'd say more the other direction. So I think that might have something to do with why we work together so well.
My two words were going to be conflict resolution.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys, and we can't wait to see you in 2022.
Yeah, we can't wait to be there.
Really looking forward to it.
So, with Instant Classic and Forefront joining us in 2022, who's going to be our special guest in 2021? Well, I can now reveal that this will be our special announcement later on in the show. Let us know in the comments who you think it might be.
We've spoken quite a lot about BABS' convention already, and if you're new to barbershop, you're probably wondering exactly what we're going on about. But don't worry, here's Andrea Day with our guide to convention.
Since 1974, BABS has held 45 conventions all across Great Britain, from Glasgow to Brighton and from Llandudno to Scarborough. But what does the convention actually look like, and what goes on? Strap yourself in as we take you on a whistle-stop tour behind the scenes of one of the biggest events in the British barbershop calendar. The journey to convention is an important part of the whole experience. It's the time to get yourself ready for a weekend of singing, whether you're catching a lift with a quartet, your chorus mates, or getting a bit of last-minute practice in. In 2019, over 1,300 people sang across all of the weekend's competitions. Kicking the convention off on the Friday afternoon, it's the quartet semi-finals, featuring the top 16 quartets from a preliminary round. The male choruses compete on Saturday, and the mixed chorus competition takes place on the Sunday morning. Throughout the afternoon, the top 6 quartets from the semi-finals sing 2 more songs in a bid for the right to call themselves British Quartet Champions.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
One of the prizes for the competition winners is a place on one of the many shows that take place over the weekend. These also feature barbershop groups from other British organisations and special guests from abroad. We've been lucky enough to welcome legends like Vocal Spectrum, Crossroads, Musical Island Boys and Ringmasters. In recent years, we've even hosted non-barbershop groups like the King Singers and the Real Group. Not only do you get to see these amazing performers live, but they're always hanging around the bar after the show if you want a chat, a picture or even a quick sing. After the Sunday night show, it's time for the afterglow, which is basically what barbershoppers call an after party, between choruses singing songs on staircases and impromptu quartets singing tags in a corner. You're never more than 6 feet away from someone singing.
How can I
But the main reason why we all keep coming back is to spend time with friends from all across the country. Whether you're catching up on life events with an old chorus mate, reuniting your old quartet for one more song, or remembering friends who are no longer with us, convention is about singing and much, much more.
Thanks for that, Andrea. I've been to 6 conventions and even I feel like I learned a lot from that.
Over the last few weeks, a lot of choruses and quartets have been refocusing their efforts on recording songs remotely, including the Cottontown Chorus from Bolton. This next song was recorded in support of the BBC's Big Night In charity appeal, and if you can afford to donate right now, you can find the link to do so below.
Introducing the video, Cottontown say, "This is our heartfelt thank you to our NHS and key workers who are laying it on the line for us during the coronavirus pandemic. God only knows what we'd be without you. We hope this brings a bit of sunshine to your day, a smile to your face, and a lift to your heart."
Stars above you, you'll never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you. Ba ba da da. If you should ever leave me, the life will still go on. Believe me, the world could show nothing to me. So what good would let it do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. Da 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 still go on, believe me. The world could show nothing to me. So what good would let it do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without. 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 Just what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd God only knows. God only knows what I'd God only knows. God only knows what I'd God only knows. God only knows what I'd God only knows.
Whenever you go to a convention, you always leave with a stack of memories, and you've all been sharing them with us over the last few weeks. Let's take a little walk down memory lane.
I walked past a local solicitor's office, and outside the front door there was a flyer for a Learn to Sing course with my local barbershop club. So I went along and I started the course and learned to sing Can You Feel the Love Tonight from The Lion King. And then they said, well, we've got a concert in a few weeks' time and you guys can be in it if you like. And I turned up and sang on stage with the chorus in front of an audience. And I just loved the sound, loved the experience.
Ben Topless wrote in to say that 2019 was the first year that he stayed for the Sunday night afterglow, and it was the highlight of the whole weekend, especially seeing the Emerald Guard's Lion King medley and how much fun everyone was having.
What's the matter with you? Nothing. What's the matter with you?
My very first convention, I went to Harrogate with Tom, with Shannon Express when they won gold with Graham Davis. I went to wave him goodbye at the door of the changing room, and Brian Sperry stopped me and said, "Are you his mum?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Well, you can come in then." So in I went, to be confronted by 60 odd blokes I'd never met in my life before, all in their underpants.
So one of the traditions that Monkey Magic seems to have acquired over the last few years is that whenever we get together in an afterglow, we have to sing Let It Snow. We'd rather sing something else, but people just seem to keep asking for it. So we always end up having to sing it. So we thought, being as we can't be there this year, and we're doing this thing online, that we'd give you an online Zoom rendition of Let It Snow. So Duncan, take it away.
Bow. Bum ba dum ba doom doo ba da doom ba doom ba bow. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum.
Competition success requires a lot of preparation, and that was definitely the case for the 2003 BABS Quartet champion Sound Crew, whose lead Dale Kinniston wrote in to say, "We were known for our comedy routines, and every year it became harder to come up with new material. In previous contests we had always used at least one piece which was borrowed from American comedy quartets, but when we finally won, all 4 parodies were completely homegrown. It took many hours to write them and many more to perfect the timing and punchlines. We knew it was ready for contest when it no longer felt funny to us."
Don't they know the songs too high? Could this be the end? Say the truth.
Since Sound Crew's retirement, their members have been regular features in our quartet competitions, none more so than bass Andy Funnell. Earlier this year, his quartet One Foot in the Stave came second in the International Senior Quartet Contest in Nashville. Here's a song from their silver medal winning set.
I search for phrases to sing your praises, but there aren't any magic adjectives to tell you all you are. You're just too marvelous for words. Like glorious, glamorous, and that old standby amorous. It's all too wonderful. I'll never find the words that say enough, tell enough. I mean, they just aren't swell enough. You're much too much, and just too very, very to ever be in Webster's dictionary. And so I'm borrowing a love song from the past to tell you that you're marvelous, too marvelous for words. For words like adorable and amorous and glorious and glamorous, they're insufficient when applied to you, to you. To be euphemistical, to be eulogistical, I'd have to come up with a million words I never thought I knew. I'd rather be logical and sensible, but I'm incomprehensible whenever I begin to find a phrase. but they never say enough. They never tell enough. I already told you no vocabulary's swell enough. What'll I do to say the things I have in mind? It's really absurd, there isn't a word to fit you. No matter where I look, I always seem to find delectable, delirious, magnificently mysterious. You're simply too spectacular to be in my vernacular. That is why I'm forced to go to the birds to tell you you're colossable. You make my whole life possible and too marvelous. You're too marvelous for words, too marvelous for words.
Come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. 'Cause she's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get sun. We're up all night for good fun. We're staying up all night. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make her the cutest that I've ever seen. Give her the word that I'm not a rover. Then tell me that my lonesome nights are over. Sandman. There's a million stars in the sky. None shine brighter than your eyes.
I was so close.
In the band, Ben sings baritone in the band. When the melody, chorus, and the harmony sound, just sings the part that moves around. Ba ba da ba 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 do da 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 ba da 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 ba da ba da 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 da.
I feel so romantic. Can we do it again?
Can we do it again sometime? Fantastic, c'est la vie, mesdames et messieurs.
And at the peak of the season, the Mediterranean,
This time of year,
it's so fashionable.
Pow, pow, ba-da, 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 pow, ba-da, pow, ba-da.
From Chicago to LA, I live more than 2,000 miles all the way. Oh yeah, get your keys on Route 66. But why my majestic BA train? And if you just miss the A train, then you'll find these things way to home.
It's hard to believe, but that last performance from Limelight was their first time singing together in public. One of the wonderful things about Barbershop is that there are always new beginnings.
However, all stories do come to an end, and sadly this is the case for the Grand Central Chorus and their director, Zach Balls. Here's a short tribute from the chorus.
Today should have been Zach's last performance directing us. As a singer, director, arranger, coach, and more importantly, a friend, he has been a huge part of the chorus and he will be sorely missed.
To celebrate his many achievements with the chorus, here is our performance of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. The glorious chords of the final goodbye reflect the emotions of everyone at Grand Central.
Goodbye, yellow brick road, the rain when the dogs of society
to the howling old owl in the woods. I'm hunting the horny-backed toad. Oh, I finally decided my future lies beyond the yellow brick road. Oh, when am I gonna come down? When am I going to land? I should have stayed on the farm. I should have listened to my old man. You know you can hold me forever, ever. I didn't sign up with you. I'm not a present for your friends to open. This boy's too young to be singing the blues. So goodbye road, where the dogs of society, oh how they howl. You can't put me in your penthouse, so I'm going back to my plow. I'm going back to the howling old owl in the woods. I'm hunting the horny-backed toad. Look down the road. Yes, I finally decided my future lies beyond the yellow brick. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why? Then oh why? Goodbye, yellow brick I'm a damn machine, push a button and I dance, turn a handle and I sing. Now this machine will fly and just one guy will wind the spring. Tell me not to fly, simply got to. If someone takes a spin, it's me and not you. Don't
A sparkling performance from Amersham a cappella there, part of their gold medal winning set at the Ladies Association of British Barbershop Singers Convention last year. We'll be catching up with them later in the show, along with the Cotton Town Chorus, to talk about their mixed voice project, A Kind of Magic.
Now, let's see what everyone's been saying on social media with Shanna.
There are some great conversations going on, and we are having some fantastic things being sent in. Mike Saverin from Cotton Town is feeling emotional and missing convention after seeing Andrea's feature. We've seen this great photo from Simon, our 2019 Barbershopper of the Year, who is ready in his quartet gear to watch Babs live whilst chatting to friends on Zoom and Slack. Enjoy the night, Simon. Mubs are enjoying their evening watching on Zoom with drinks in hand. And we want to give a shout out to anyone watching Barbershop for the first time. Thanks for joining us. Remember, #live.
Amazing. Keep sending those comments in. We'll check in again later on in the show.
Now, the last 12 months has seen the rebrand of the BABS Youth Initiative under the new name of Fusion. Working alongside university societies, they have been doing workshops, pub quizzes, and, towards the end of last year, launched new male and mixed youth choruses. Here is their international virtual chorus performance of The Way We Were, followed by songs from our 2019 BABS Senior and Youth Champs, Bagatelle and Apollo 2.
Memories like the corners of my mind, misty watercolored memories of the way we scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind, smiles we gave to one another for the way we were. Had it been as was all so simple then, or has time rewritten every line? If we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Maybe beautiful and yet what's too painful to remember? We simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we will remember. Whenever we remember the way we Beautiful
dreamer, wake unto me. Starlight and dewdrops are waiting for thee. Sounds of the rude world heard in the day, lulled by the moonlight, have all passed away. Oh, beautiful dreamer, queen of my song, list while I woo thee with soft melody. Gone are the cares of life's busy throng. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me, to me. Beautiful dreamer, beautiful dreamer, awake, awake unto me. Starlight and dewdrops are waiting for thee. May I never see the sun go down. May I never feel the falling rain. If the love that I declare isn't all that's right and fair, may I never, may I never love again. May I never see the blue of the sky, nor the moon and stars down Lover's Lane. May I never live a day if I don't mean what I say. May I never, may I never love again. Sweetheart, when I'm with you, I'm not a foolish pretender. Sweetheart, if you love me too, all I possess I surrender. May I never feel your tender lips. May I never take your love in vain. You're the answer to my prayer, but if your love isn't there, may I never know.
My favourite convention memory was our 40th anniversary in 2014 in Harrogate. From the Royal Box, we witnessed OC Times, Ringmasters, Vocal Spectrum, Gashouse Gang, Stormfront, Crossroads, Old School, a plethora of the best quartets, all creating magical music theatre to match the splendour of the Royal Hall that we were in. Kudos to BABS and the Harrogate Convention team for putting on an exemplary performance and getting this whole convention running.
The afterglow that year was pretty insane. Everywhere you looked, there was another international gold medalist singing tags.
Although I think some tagged harder than others. Helen Warner remembers one of them looking rather unwell as they headed to the airport at 5:30 in the morning.
The whole event had a rather surreal feel to it. As Mike said, we ended up moving venues on the Friday night after a torrential rainstorm cut all the power. Kevin Liebling spotted someone who took advantage of the bar's card machine switching off, and they looked very pleased with themselves as they wandered off with a couple of free pints.
Now, the winners of the chorus competition that year were Hallmark of Harmony, who regained their crown last year in Bournemouth. We caught up with them a few days ago to have a nice little chat. We're joined by the fabulous Tim and Andy from Hallmark of Harmony. Great to see you both.
Hello, chaps. Good to see you.
Now, you made the decision to take a year out from competing at BABS in 2018. What was your thinking behind this?
The main reason was to try and do some things outside of the BABS contest kind of cycle. So we made the decision to take a couple of trips to different choir festivals and try and get to some new audiences and kind of express our music and ourselves that way.
It also gave us 12 to 18 months longer to work on skills and actually try and lift the quality of the chorus as we did it.
Hallmark have been known for having extravagant choreo routines over the last few years, especially for their front row. What was your thinking behind going for completely the opposite in Your Heavenly Thing and not having any set moves at all?
We didn't think that the song really needed too much choreography, but on the back of that it was quite nice to try and show that we're not just a choreography chorus, and we wanted to kind of surprise people in that way.
For those who don't know, Hallmark only rehearse their competition songs on one day per month from January until convention. How do you keep your chorus members engaged in between sessions?
I think the most enjoyable part for me and Andy is trying to find inventive ways to send messages out to the guys that mean we can guarantee that they'll watch them. Interactive shopping guides, swimming lessons in the Bournemouth Sea, any video that involves Mr. Steve Holden gets people's attention.
Once things get back to normal, what does the future hold for Hallmark?
Once we can get back together, we've got a lot of new music that we're learning, and we're hoping to take that new music to a couple of big events next year. So we're planning to represent BABS at the European Barbershop Contest, which is in Sweden next year. We'll also hope to make a trip to IABS in October next year, which we were hoping to do this year, but that's been postponed.
What the lockdown has done is create a culture where it's okay to record yourself. So we're going to have to use that as a rehearsal tool and do things interactively, remotely as well as in person. So I think this is going to change the way Hallmark rehearse a bit as well.
We're shortly going to see your video for Dancing in the Dark. Could you tell us how you put it together?
This is a project we decided to do when we heard that BABS was putting on an event like this, and we'd recently had teach tracks made and bought an arrangement by Hannah Briggs for Dancing in the Dark. So the guys have all learnt this in the last 3 or 4 weeks. We've never sang it together as a chorus, so that's kind of a new thing for us. And everybody sent in a recording of themselves singing their part, and then we pieced them all together and made hopefully a nice entertaining video to go with it. Obviously we can't wait to sing this song for people in real life when we get back together, but until then, here's a song that we specifically chose to show you all of us dancing around our gardens in our pyjamas.
Great intro, Tim.
Same way I ain't ready with time. could use just a little help. You can start a fire. You can start a fire without a spark. This gun's for hire. Oh, even if we're just dancing in the dark. Messages keep getting clearer. Radio's on and I'm moving round the place. I take a look in the mirror. I wanna change my clothes, my hair, my face, getting nowhere. Oh man, I'm living in a dump like this. There's something happening somewhere. Baby, I just know that there is. You can't start a fire. No, you can't start a fire without a spark. This gun's for hire. Oh, even if we're just dancing in the dark. You sit around getting older. Oh, there's a joke here somewhere and it's on me. I'll shake this world off my shoulders. Oh, baby, this laughs on me. You can't start a fire. No, you can't start a fire without a spark. This gun's for hire. Oh, even if we're just dancing in the dark.
I knew I should have dug out my glow sticks. We're going to take a short break now. Join us afterwards when we'll be chatting to Sound Hypothesis, hearing great music from the White Rosettes, and revealing the identity of our 2021 convention guest.
But before you go and put the kettle on, we want you to think of barbershop or singing related cocktails and post them in the comments.
We'll read out some of the best after the break, so go get a gingham tonic or my wild Irish coffee, and we'll see you in 5. Welcome back! I hope you're all feeling refreshed as we have another hour of great music from Forefront, the White Rosette, and the Great Western Chorus, our interviews with Instant Classic and A Kind of Magic, and we'll unmask our guest quartet for next year's convention.
Over the break, we asked you for your musical cocktail ideas. Shanna, what's on the menu?
Brilliant. Thanks, Shanna. Next, we're going to focus on two groups who formed recently but wasted no time climbing up the contest rankings. Before we hear some music from Meantime Chorus, we had a little chat with these guys.
We're here with the BABS 2019 Quartet Champion Sound Hypothesis. Thanks for joining, guys. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Thanks
for having us. I know this hasn't been the ending you were expecting, but what's been the highlight of your champ year?
I think my highlight actually was Harmony College, because we got some great coaching from Steve Scott. He was fantastic, a real magician.
I think the thing that we never thought we'd end up doing is a live stream in place of our celebration concert, as it were. Which actually I think turned out slightly better than we were expecting. We really enjoyed doing it. It was a real laugh.
When you're in your first rehearsal back after lockdown, what's going to be the first tag that you guys sing?
I think it's going to be a really soft and lovely one, whatever it is.
It's the singing a chord, maybe just a pickup before the song starts, and you hear the ring just go. You hear those undertones. It's the undertones I've missed more than the overtones, in a way.
So you're going to have another year of being able to call yourselves BABS champions. Have you got any other plans in the pipeline?
I guess now would be a good time to sort of talk about my situation. I've decided to leave the group. Obviously, it was a very hard decision. I've loved my time in the quartet and as in the barbershop community as a whole. But I've just qualified as a doctor and I'm starting, sort of a new job. So I think it's just sort of that time in my life where I kind of need to focus on that for a little while at least, I think.
We are going to be looking for a new member. We're on the lookout right now. We just want to meet some awesome people that we get on with and can continue to, continue the journey of Sound Hypothesis with, because we love this quartet and we don't want to see it ending. So we're really looking for a new baritone right now, yeah.
You are all members of the a cappella group Tectonics at Imperial College London. There you were singing big multi-part arrangements of pop songs with extravagant choreography and really intricate polyphonic textures. What was it that made you want to go into the complete opposite direction and try barbershop?
My philosophy was always about a bit of minimalism and a bit of pared down, and I really sort of delighted in having 4 parts to work with and just saying, well, this is all you got. You've only got 4 parts, and so you've got to make the most of that. And it's a case of, well, I've got to get someone to do this bit, so I've used up one of my precious parts to do that.
Conrad, I think it's fair to say you keep yourself in good physical shape, as does Myron Whittlesey from Main Street. If the two of you had an arm wrestling contest, who would win?
Wow, what a question. I've seen that guy's arms. He's got big arms. I think I'd be absolutely destroyed.
You're a cyclist, aren't you, Conrad?
If we were having a thigh wrestle, it might be a different question.
We're going to leave it there, but thank you guys for joining us. Would you like to introduce your song?
So this is When I See an Elephant Fly, arranged by Aaron Dale.
I saw a peanut stand, I heard a rubber band, I saw a needle and winged its eye, but I peanut unseen about everything. When I see an elephant fly in the sky, I saw a front porch swing, heard a diamond ring, I saw a polka dot railroad tie. Oh my, but I've been unseen about everything. When I see an elephant fly, I even heard a chocolate drop. I went into a store and saw a bicycle shop. You can't deny the things that you see, but I know there's certain things that just can't be. The other day by chance I saw an old barn dance, and I just laughed till I thought I'd die. But I've been unseen about everything. When I see an elephant fly, ba-da-ba, sha-da-ba-da-ba-dee-doo, ba-da-ba-da, 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 do-ba-da, she-ba-da, stu-ba-da, ba-da-ba-da, skee-ba-ba-doo-ba-da, shiggity-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, ba-da-ba, skee-ba-ba-doo, come-a-naggity, jiggity, 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 da-da-ba-da, do-ba-da, she-ba-da, scuba, ba-da-ba-da, da-ba-da-ba-doo-wah-wah. I saw a close horse, he rear up and barked, and I know a man who made a vegetable truck. You can't deny the things that you see, but I know there's certain things that just can't be. No, they just can't be. I saw a peanut stand, heard a rubber band, saw a needle that winked its eye, that winked its eye, winked its eye. But I've been unseen about everything. When I see an elephant fly, when I see, I see an elephant fly high, way up high. Now I think I will have seen most everything. When I see an elephant
Stumble through your days, got your head hung low, your sky's a shade of grey, like a zombie in a maze. You're asleep inside, but you can't shake or wake, 'cause you're just a dead man walking, thinking that's your only option. You can flick the switch and brighten up your darkest day. The sun is up, the colors blind you. Take a world to redefine it. Leave behind your narrow mind, you'll never be the same. Come alive, come and shine your light. Let it burn so bright, reaching up to the sky. And you're open wide, it's electrified. The world becomes a fantasy and it's more than you can ever be, 'cause you're dreaming with your eyes wide open. And you know you can't go back again to the world that we were living in, so you're dreaming with your eyes wide open. So come alive. I see it in your eyes. You believe that in life, but you need to hide your face. Afraid to step outside, so you door to door, but don't you stay that way. You're living in the shadows, you're me without how that knows. 'Cause once you see it all, you never, never be the same. Little bit of light and shining, all enough to keep on shining. You can prove it's more to you, you cannot be afraid. Come alive, come alive, come alive to life. Let it burn so bright, reaching up to the sky. And it's open wide, you're electrified. We know we can go back again to the world that we were living in.
We're sorry that there were some technical difficulties when we were speaking to Shanna earlier, but she's back and we should now be able to hear her. What have you got for us, Shanna?
Well, the comments are just pouring in and it sounds like you are all having a great party. Simon Hargrave is delighted there is no queue for the bar or the loo. Julie Mangles is enjoying her Singapore sling. Barbershop Music UK are enjoying a cocktail aptly named In the Key of G and T. Alan Hughes is now drinking a Maker's Mark Grindle and Coke. Nick Bryant is having a nice Coney Island iced tea, and Paul Mason is enjoying his Hex on the beach. And a special mention to Laura and Andy Allen, who are watching from home and absolutely loving it, as you can see from this fantastic image. Remember, keep sending those comments in. Hashtag Babs Live.
My most memorable BABS conventions have been made that way by their guest artists. It's always been that way for me. My first convention in 1987, the guest quartet was the Interstate Rivals. Wow. But in 1995, something very special happened. The Vocal Majority visited their first BABS convention. The buzz around the place was incredible.
From my 26 conventions, the standout for me has to be 1995 Harrogate, when Vocal Majority started their show with the Music Man after a massive amount of applause before they'd even sung a note.
What a weekend that was. Cheers.
It's quite easy to take for granted how much we now know about our convention guests, but back then the only way you'll have heard anything live from the Vocal Majority is if you'd found a copy of a competition VHS or gone over to the States.
Of course, this wasn't the last time that the VM came to BABS. 5 years ago, they joined us in Llandudno when a certain young, dashing quartet whose name starts with a T and rhymes with Agline won the gold.
James, we've spoken about this!
Shut up, Chris. I'm doing it anyway. Greg, get ready
Rob's
to play
not
that
going to be
BT I sent
happy.
you. With a fresh-faced lead who could sing anything he put his mind to.
He's actually
They
screaming
stole
in my ear.
everyone's hearts and cuddled them up a little closer. Here's a look back at their remarkable
You'll get what's
career.
coming to you.
Greg, roll the VT.
When I leave the world behind, when I leave the
To be fair, after that, it's amazing that you had the resilience to ever sing in public again. Winning the chorus competition in 2015 was the Great Western Chorus. Here's a performance of theirs from just before Christmas with special guests, Sound Hypothesis.
Your love is lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. I say your love sets me on fire and sends the lonesome blues
at your side forevermore. You know your love, he's all lifted higher, higher and higher. Gotta say our love keeps on lifting me higher and higher. He's all lifted higher, higher and higher. That's the love keeps on lifting me higher and higher. La, la, la,
You came and found me. You're that one in a million friends. Yeah, you wrap all your love around me. I can stand up and face the world again. Love, take me
your love is lifting me higher, higher and higher. Say our love keeps on lifting me higher and higher,
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets with cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the cold and damp. Then my eyes were staring
haunting and powerful stuff there from the White Rosettes at the 2018 Irish Barbershop Convention. Now, 20 years ago, Babs and Labs hosted a very special event. Here's Sam Hubbard to give us an unconventional look at what went on.
Bum 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 Statman.
Welcome to the first edition of the Hubcast with me, Sam Hubbard. Today we're going to do a deep dive into everything stat related for the 2000 Back in 1997, Babs and Labs started to make plans to mark the start of the new millennium with special joint chorus and quartet competitions at Babs' Brighton convention. These would take place in addition to the normal Babs contests. There was a fair amount of resistance to this new idea, but the unofficial response to that was something along the lines of Yahoo sucks to death. So it happened anyway. Before we get started with the special millennium results, here's what went down at the Babs contests. Third in the quartet competitions, we had Wheel of Harmony. They were known for appearing regularly on the BBC Radio 4 drama Keep It Sunny Side Up as the barbershop quartet of one of the main characters. In second place were High Fidelity, winning the last of their 3 silver medals. But between them, they would go on to win 5 Babs gold medals over the next 12 years. The winners of the regular Babs contest were the Likely Lads, all of whose members have won shed loads of medals as quartetters, chorus directors. The lead, Lee Sperry, as a cob of corn in the Toronto Northern Lights' famous vegetable set, winning gold at International in 2013. On to the choruses now, and the battle for silver was close. Really close. The Grand Central Chorus finished in 3rd place, with the Thames Valley Chorus edging ahead by 0.33%. And as your resident statman, I can confirm that that is about that much. Winning a record equaling 6th Chorus Championship was Sheffield's Hallmark of Harmony. Now, it's time for the Millennium Competition results. Third in the quartet competition were the 1999 Labs Quartet champions Crackerjack, who once had an appearance in the soap Heartbeat. Taking the silver by a whole 2 points were the 1989 Babs Quartet champs Quartz Precision. While lead Brian Schofield is the most decorated quartet singer in Babs' history, this one was just a stretch too far. And the ultimate victor was Sounds Familiar, the 1998 Labs champs. Now, the good news for Brian is that 13 years after the contest, he married the tenor of Sounds Familiar, Gaynor Duguay. I hear they had to buy a second mantelpiece just to have enough space for all of their barber bling. Last but not least, let's look at the Millennium Chorus Contest. 3rd place was hotly contested, with a tie between Cheshire Chord Company and Hallmark of Harmony being broken by Cheshire's high-end music score. Not a bad result at all for Cheshire, whose director, Denise Lyons, had only been with the chorus for 4 months at that point. Capital Connection danced their way into 2nd place, and taking home gold were the Cambridge Chord Company, hot on the heels of the Babs chorus gold they'd won the previous year.
Who said that singing barbershop was just for men?
There were a lot of companies making chords in this contest. I have to say, from everything that I've read and watched about this convention, it was an unforgettable experience. And personally, I really hope that we don't have to wait another 980 years to see our male and female groups compete against each other again. That's it from me for now. Join me next time when I take a look back at the Pearson correlation between hair length and vocal ranges. Bye-bye.
Normal Statman.
Thanks, Sam. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that for sure. You back with us now, James?
Let's never speak of that again. Now, it's time for another song from Forefront from their 2018 show at the beautiful Fundación Juan March in Madrid.
It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held her for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only that to be sure you must be slow. Then I saw your smile, and now I know. Listen to just my heart. That smile made me trust my heart. I held her in the moonlight. My heart felt sure and strong in just one magic moment. I found love to last my whole life long. Whole life long. Love to last a whole life long. A whole life long. And that is all. And that is all that love's about. And we'll recall when time runs out. It only took a moment to be loved a whole life long. To be loved a whole Lately I have had the strangest feeling, with no vivid reason here to find. Yet the thought of losing you's been hanging round my mind.
It's a conniption fit when the microphone's lit. I take it high like a bird on a wire and tie the fire never. Cause I'm just moving on up, choosing to touch the unseen, craving the clutch. Damn, mirrors were created by sand, and I'm looking in the water for reflections of man. Understand the mind about time when it's empty, MC tragically hip, head by a century. After you've gone, left me crying. After you've gone, there's no denying. You'll feel blue, you'll feel sad. You'll miss the dearest pal you ever had now. There'll come a time, you won't forget it. There'll come a time when you'll regret it. Someday when you grow lonely, your heart will break like mine and you want me only. After you go,
Stop being so hard on yourself. It's not good for your health. I know that you can change. So lay your head and come round. You only have to open your eyes. You might just get a big surprise. And it might feel good. And you might want to smile, smile, smile. Oh, don't you let your demons pull you down. Cause you can have it all.
slip me a
slug from that wonderful mug, and I'll cut a rug till I'm snug in a jug. A slice of onion and a raw one. Draw one.
Waiter, waiter, percolator.
I love coffee, I love tea. I love the Java Jive and it loves me. Coffee and tea and the Java and me. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup of I will be free.
Well, that was both large and in charge from Finest Hour there. I need a minute to sort myself out. So, Shanna, could you give us another social update?
Well, everybody seems to be having a great time, judging by the comments and photos you are sending in. We have had a late entry cocktail from Joe Braham, who is currently enjoying a porn star martini baglow. Gina Hallams is loving seeing and hearing familiar and new faces. Don Roberts wants his all sorts. We'll get you some next time you stage manage for us, promise. A special mention must go to Helen and Tony Bylett, as seen in this photo, who met for the first time 25 years ago at the BABS convention in Harrogate. Tonight they are celebrating at home. We know Meantime are taking part in a fun drinking game, and we hope that they're still with us by the end of the show. And a shout out to everyone watching from Seattle, Sweden, Ireland, Rhode Island, Florida, Spain, California, Pennsylvania, and all over the UK. Congratulations also to Rebecca and James, our fabulous host, as they have just got engaged. Enjoy the rest of your evening and keep sending those contributions in. #BabsLive.
Cheers, Shanna. Now, finding creative solutions around distancing is not a new challenge for our next guest, the 2019 BABS Mixed Chorus Champions, A Kind of Magic, an alliance between the Cottontown Chorus and Amersham A Cappella. Here's what happened when we caught up with Helen, Neil, Dale and Flash a couple of weeks ago.
Thanks to you all for joining us. How and when did the idea to join forces come about?
It was the year that we'd become champions, and Cottontown were also the current gold medalists. And it occurred to a few of us that it would be brilliant fun to have a joint number with Cottontown. And so I approached Neil, and Neil was up for it. And actually other things happened as a result of the first rehearsal and where two people happened to be placed in relation to each other, one from Amersham and one from Cottontown.
They were on riser 4 and riser 3, and I was on riser 5 and witnessed the whole thing.
With almost 200 miles separating your choruses, I imagine geography must have been a major issue to overcome. How did you work around that?
We had to do a lot of email tennis, a lot of phone calls, videos, and we had to find somewhere halfway between the two choruses, really. Which ended up being Birmingham.
It was quite nice in a way because it challenged us, to work with technology in a way that perhaps we hadn't embraced before. So we really took on the recording of the choreo and, sending it back and forth. Flash had some wonderful ideas for the choreo that she'd ping forward, and then we'd create, her interpretation at our end, and then we'd send it back. And it challenged us in ways that perhaps we hadn't embraced before. And in a time like this, of course, the technology is how we're doing everything, isn't it?
Establishing a unique identity is important to the success of any group. How did you go about making a fresh image from two very established choruses?
When you get a male and female chorus together anyway, there is a different kind of energy, so it creates itself. And there was a real kind of banter and a real respect for each other as well.
Just a friendship between the two different choruses, I think really came across in the performances on stage. And I'd recommend to any choruses that are close by, male, female choruses, just get together, and it is a great chance to get to...
Did you say close by? Yeah. We'll have to remember that one next time.
What's next for the chorus? Have you got any further competition plans, and will we see you again at BABS in the future in an attempt to regain your crown?
To be discussed, I think.
well, hopefully next year we're going to be mic cooling the contest, but there's things like European that we've got to discuss. We were thinking about Bing this year, but that didn't sort of happen anyway. So yeah, there's lots of little irons in the fire that we've got to go through and decide which way forward from here.
Thank you so much for joining us. That's all we've got time for today, I'm afraid. Would you guys like to introduce your song?
This is A Kind of Magic.
And
Only time to dance around. Gotta find a place to cut it up and get on down. Right now. Get on down, come on, get down. Get on down, get on down, come on, get down. Get on down, get on down, come on down. Get down, get on down, come on down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Been working so hard. I'm punching my card. 8 hours for what? Oh, tell me what I got. And now I got this feeling that time's just holding me down. It's holding me down. It's holding me right down. Oh, and now I'll hit the ceiling, or else I'll tear up this town. Break it down, rock it all around, break it down. Cut loose, foot loose, kick off your Sunday shoes. Please, Louise, you gotta pull me off of my knees. And you gotta listen, Jack, get back. Come on before we crack. And you gotta lose your blues. Everybody cut foot loose. Oh yeah, down baby right now. You're playing so cool, obeying every rule. Deep way down in your heart, you're burning, yearning for someone to tell you that life ain't passing you by. No, 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 and now I'm trying to tell you it will if you don't even try. So get down now and try. If you only cut loose, foot loose, go rockin', kick off your Sunday shoes. Louis Marie, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it for me. Say whoa, my low man, whoa, come on, let's go. Lose your blues, everybody cut foot loose. Whoa, whoa, whoa. First you got to turn me around and put your feet on the ground. Now take a hold of your soul. Sunday shoes, please, Louise, oh please, pull me right off my knees. And Jack, get back, come on before we crack. And now you gotta lose your blues. Come on, cut, everybody cut, everybody cut. Come on, cut, everybody cut. Come on, cut, everybody cut. Everybody cut foot loose.
It may seem like a long time ago now, but at the start of March, BABS lost one of its most well-respected and influential figures, as John Grant sadly passed away.
It's a difficult task to find someone who had as much of an impact on the association as John, and in so many different areas. We'd like to take this opportunity to look back on his barbershop career and pay tribute to one of BABS' finest.
We are at this time supposed to have what is known as a mast sing. So I'm going to stand up here and wave my arms about, and I'll follow you if you sort of sing a few songs.
John Grant joined the British Association of Barbershop Singers in 1975, less than 2 years after its formation. An engineer by trade, he joined the Nottingham Gateway Chorus and Sherwood Airs Quartet, and soon became enrolled in the Guild of Judges, judging its first contest in 1978. He would serve as a judge for 25 years, including as chairman of the Guild in 1981-82, before finally judging his last contest in 2003. John also served BABS on its executive committee, including as chairman in 1979-80, where he would have a hugely influential role in developing our relationship with the society in the USA.
When he was chairman of BABS, he set up one of the greatest pieces of education that BABS ever had, especially in those early days, from the society in America. For a reasonable affiliation fee every year, all of our BABS clubs received copies of all the published barbershop arrangements that came from the society, and in addition, we got 2 weeks education by one of the professional barbershop educators from Kenosha, which was where the society was at that time. That was a wonderful thing to do for BABS, among many terrific things that John did, and we're missing him terribly.
John is perhaps best known as a chorus director. Along with the Hill brothers, he founded the Sheffield Barbershop Harmony Club in 1978 and led them to 4 British Championship wins between 1986 and 1997. In 1990, he was the first Briton to direct a BABS chorus at the International Convention in San Francisco.
John was charismatic, intelligent, knowledgeable, with a ready smile and quick wit. He was an immensely assured leader. He filled the members of Hallmark with confidence. We always felt in good hands. John's success as a director was underpinned by his love of barbershop music, his sharp wit and inclusive sense of humour.
In 1992, John founded the Grand Central Chorus, and a year later directed them to the BABS Championship in their very first competition, a feat which has never been repeated. He led them to 2 further championships, including in 2012 when he came out of retirement to take them to the gold once more. After retiring from directing, John would continue to share his expertise as a coach and mentor, leading to many more gold medals for both quartets and choruses, male and female. A lifelong avid fan of barbershop, he continued to attend barbershop conventions as a supporter and regularly hosted woodshedding and tagging sessions at his home.
I would like to pay tribute to John's hugely influential role in women's barbershop as well as men's barbershop. He coached many women's choruses, the Wet Rosettes, Cheshire Chord, Heartbeat to gold medals, and many female quartets as well. I wanted to mention Euphoria particularly, John's wife's quartet. He persuaded Jane, a reluctant quartet singer, to join Euphoria, and he was a mentor and coach in gaining their gold medals and also in becoming the first quartet male or female to break the 15 in America. We will miss John dearly as a mentor, a coach, and a very dear friend.
With 7 gold medals, 3 silver medals and 6 bronze medals, John remains BABS' most decorated chorus director. For his outstanding contribution to British barbershop, John was proudly inducted into the BABS Hall of Fame in 2004. When signing off as chairman, John stated, "You only get out of something what you put into it. If you want to get more out of your barbershop, why not look at the possibility of serving?" John certainly served our association, and for that we are forever indebted to him.
You really get a feel from that just how vibrant a man John was. And we're now going to honour his legacy with what he would have wanted most of all, some more great barbershop.
Our final guest this evening is the incredible Instant Classic. We'll hear from them in a little bit after their rendition of Love Me or Leave Me.
I can't stand uncertainty. This suspense is killing me. Tell me now, I've got to know. Should I stay? Should I go? Or should I go? I've got to know.
Love me or leave me or let me be lonely. You won't believe me, and I love you only. I'd rather be lonely than happy with somebody else. Someone else. You might find that nighttime's the right time for kissing. Nighttime is my time for just reminiscing, regretting instead of forgetting with somebody else. Somebody else. There'll be no one unless that someone is you. Unless that someone's you. I intend to be independently blue. You know I'd rather be blue. Well, I want your love. I don't want to borrow to have for today and be gone for tomorrow. For my love is your love. There's no love for anyone else. No one else. No, there's nobody else. Well, love me or leave me or let me be lonely. You won't believe me, and I love you only. I know that I'd rather be lonely than with somebody else. Someone else. Well, you might find the night is just right for painting the town, but all I do is sit home and feel down. Regret, upset, well, you know, I can't forget and be with somebody else, 'cause there'll be no one unless that someone is. There's nobody else if it's not you. I'm inclined to go out of my mind, because without you, what would I do? Well, I want your love, but I don't want to borrow to have for today and be gone for tomorrow. For my love is your love, my love. There's nobody else. There's nobody else. No one else. Love me or leave me. There's nobody else. There's nobody else. I'll sit on the shelf all by myself. There's no one.
We are very excited to be joined by the incredible Instant Classic. Hi guys, how you doing?
Good, how's it going?
I can't think of any other quartet where all four members are active and great arrangers. How does that affect your rehearsal process?
Really have like 6 arrangers in the quartet, because all 4 of us arrange, and we've looked to Scott Kitzmiller, Kyle and Cole's dad, for a lot of some of our earlier arrangements, and still for our arrangements today, and our good friend Patrick McAlexander.
Because we all do arrange, and obviously when you arrange something, it's very personal. We kind of have to go into it knowing, you know what, it's okay for the sake of the art that changes are made. The meat of the arrangement of any of us do is always there. We usually just make some minor tweaks here and there. And so all of our arrangements end up being quote unquote instant classic arrangements, but with, you know, the flavor and the vast bulk of it being the original arrangers.
When you're looking for a song, what is it that makes you think that's an instant classic chart?
I think that what ends up happening is, instead of finding songs that are right for the quartet, we end up trying a bunch of different stuff and seeing what sticks.
You and Forefront have had close ties for a long time, coming from the same district and collaborating on arrangements. What was it like presenting them with their gold medals in 2016?
Oh man, that was awesome. It really was. They're Cardinal guys. They had been with us through the entire journey.
The previous year, in 2015, there were definitely mixed emotions, because we were thrilled to have actually, done this thing, and yet at the same time, I think I speak a little bit for all of us. There was this tiny bit of guilt that we didn't want to take it from them. It wasn't anything like that. We just went out there and did what we did, and that's where the cards landed. But boy, it really felt like a wonderful kind of closure for us to be the ones to congratulate them. That was probably the coolest aspect of that.
Now, obviously, this month's convention has been cancelled, but we're very excited that you're going to be in the UK for our 2022 convention. Have you got any non-barbershop plans for when you're here?
We want to go to Lagavulin and Lafroig and Ardbeg. do the distillery tour.
Our plan is probably to go drink scotch and just kind of see the beauty of Scotland.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us and for taking the time to talk to us. And we'll look forward to seeing you in 2022.
Yeah, we were bummed when all this happened, but particularly for the BABS convention. But really thankful that we were able to reschedule, and we're looking forward to it too.
Throughout the show, we've been teasing you with our convention guests for 2021, and now is the time. The only thing left I've got in my script is to ask who you think it's going to be, James, but should we just get on with it?
Definitely. This isn't Eurovision. Roll the VT.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, wealth and fame, he's ignored action. If we listen to each other's thoughts, thought we're never too far apart, and maybe love. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel by down. Phantoms of pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom.
Hey everybody, it's KJ from Midtown. Can't even begin to tell you how excited we are about coming to BABS in 2021. I had an incredible time there in 2013, and this time, it's okay, baby. I get to bring my family and my new quartet, Midtown. So, can't wait. You guys throw the best party in all of barbershop. So, we're pretty pumped. Thanks for having us, and can't wait to sing tags with all of you. Say bye.
Yeah! We really didn't know that. We didn't know that.
We genuinely did not know. As if next year's convention wasn't exciting enough and just getting back to it wasn't good enough. This is going to be so good.
That's so cool.
Keen.
These guys are the most forward-looking quartet in the world. The most forward-looking, the coolest. They sing the best charts. You must watch their Spider-Man video. It's awesome. This makes it unmissable. This is unmissable.
They made their contest debut at International last year, and they came in 5th place on their first time out. That is mad. That's going to be so cool. I cannot wait.
Can't wait. We'll be welcoming
so exciting.
Nick, Anthony, KJ and Christian from Midtown will be joining us at BABS in 2021. Get your tickets now. This is unmissable. This is big news. You can't get your tickets now, but maybe you will. Maybe you will be in the future.
As soon as you can get your tickets, get your tickets. I know I will. Amazing. Well, that's it. We have reached the end of the show. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in, sent in performances and memories, contributed on social media. The list goes on. We hope to see you all again soon, but in the meantime, stay safe and take care of each other.
Now, any barbershop event would not be complete without a rendition of the traditional closing numbers, and tonight is no different. Please join us in singing and swaying to Let's Get Together Again and keep the whole world singing under the direction of Bob Walker and first Mr. John Grant. Good night.
Good night.
What can I say? Very emotional moment for me because I'm just about to take, as I say, a 700 chorus in Let's Get Together Again. So I think perhaps this is an occasion when we ought to stand and sing. Let's get together.